With all the options of staying on property at Walt Disney World, we thought it would be fun to pit resorts against each other. Of course, in a friendly head-to-head competition to help you decide where to plan your next stay at Disney. Today, we'll compare Disney's Pop Century and Caribbean Beach Resort. Hey there, Seekers! Ever since the Skyliner opened in September of 2019, we here at Seeking the Magic love staying at Disney properties with access to the Skyliner. There's just something magical about being able to ride in the Disney-themed gondola, soaring like a bird over the resorts and parks. So we're going to compare a couple of our favorite budget-friendly resorts that have Skyliner access. Today's head-to-head is Pop Century versus Caribbean Beach Resort. All right, let's dive in. Let's just talk about the rooms for a minute. If you are like my family, you really don't spend much time in the resort room. However, I understand if you're staying for an extended period of time, you do have quite a bit of downtime, or maybe you have little ones with you and your room size and the quality matters a little bit more. I totally get that. I think that there are some significant differences in the rooms between these two resorts. Some might even be a deal breaker for larger families. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the rooms at Caribbean. The rooms at Caribbean Beach Resort come in several different varieties. You just have a standard room. It has 2 queen beds in it. That's it. However, one of the great things about every room at Caribbean Beach Resort is it has 2 sinks in it. Now, we've stayed at Caribbean and at Pop Century, and Pop Century only has 1 sink in the room. You can also get a room at Caribbean Beach Resort with a king bed in it, and this has a variety of different views. So you'll just have to figure out what matters to you, what kind of room you want, or you have a third option, that's a preferred room. And this room has 2 queen beds in it, but the kicker with this room is it has a bed that drops down. It's a 5th sleeper room. Now, this is awesome for me and my family. We have a family of 5. There are 5 of us. I have 3 teenagers. My husband and I have 3 teenagers. And one of them, our daughter, she is a little tiny thing. And so this 5th sleeper is perfect for her. Now, if you have 3 big teenagers, I'm not sure that this would be a good option, to be honest with you, because the 5th sleeper bed is pretty small. And so I would say if you have a kid who's any taller than 5'5", this just would not be a comfortable option for them. However, it worked great for our room. So those are just some different rooms you have at Caribbean Beach Resort. One of the things that happened with my family the last time we went is we showed up, we did online check-in, we showed up a little bit early for our room and it wasn't quite ready yet. And we had put in the option comments when we checked in online on the Disney app, we had put that we would like something close to the Skyliner, and that we wanted the ground floor, and we had specifically said which country we wanted to stay in at Caribbean Beach Resort. And so we talked to the bellhop and said, hey, we put some notes in, and she said, oh, it should be fine, but if you want to confirm, like, you should just go in and talk to them. And we did not do that. We thought, oh, since she said it was fine, we won't go in and clarify exactly what we want. We just headed over to Disney Springs to have lunch and to do some shopping over there. Once we got confirmation that our room was ready, we headed back over to the resort. And once we got there, we realized that we probably should have gone in and talked to the front desk, because our room, although it was close to the building, the main building, which was nice, it was pretty far from the Skyliner, which was our number one want for the room. However, we didn't go back and have them fix it or anything. We were ready to get in our room that night. However, next time we go, we probably will talk to them just to make sure that we do get closer to the Skyliner, because to us, walking over there in the morning and walking back late at night, it's just a lot of extra walking time when you're ready to kind of fall into bed. All right, now let's talk about the rooms at Pop Century. Pop Century is honestly such a great resort. We love staying there every time we go. It's good for groups and for families. I do think that there are a couple differences that I want to highlight when we compare Pop to Caribbean Beach. Now, Pop Century, it comes with either 2 queen beds in a room. Now, one folds down over the dining room table. It's a Murphy bed, which is nice. You can fold it back up and have a table and fold it down at night so that you can have 2 queen beds. Obviously, I mean, it's a little bit of work to put it up in the morning and put it down at night. And so we usually just end up keeping it down in our room the whole time that we're there. Or it has one king bed in it. There are no accommodations for a fifth sleeper, and honestly, Pop doesn't accommodate like a roller cot or anything like that, even for a small child. So if your party is larger than a party of 4 and it has older kids in it, you'd probably need to reserve 2 rooms if you're planning on staying at Pop Century. Now, the bathroom has only 1 sink, and one of the things we loved about Caribbean Beach Resort is that the bathroom had 2 sinks, because when there's 5 of us just getting ready in the morning, getting ready at night for bed, it really was helpful. I do think that raising the queen bed is nice at Disney's Pop Century. I do love that, so that you can have a little more space in the room, but honestly, we just did not do that a ton. One of the cool things, though, I think about both of the resorts is the beds are always tall enough to slide your suitcases under, and there's always plenty of drawers to add all of your stuff to, along with hangers to hang up your stuff in the closet. I don't know about y'all, but I love making myself at home when I'm at Disney. All right, let's start talking about the different amenities that both of these resorts have to offer. We're going to jump in talking about Pop Century first. Now, I know this is a value resort, but it offers quite a few amenities that are awesome for families who have kids of all ages. They have multiple pools, extensive food menu options, a great food court, and even fun evening activities, as well as some other things that we're going to talk about. First off, the pools are awesome. There's 3 separate swimming pools to enjoy, and these are spread out across the entire resort. The main pool is called Hippy Dippy Pool, and it's located near the center of the resort outside of Classic Hall, where you can find the food court and the shop. This is the largest of the 3 pools, and honestly, it's always full. There are always people there swimming, and it's so fun. I think there's stuff for kids because of the pool, obviously, but it also has a bar called Petals Pool Bar, where you can order a drink and a snack and sit there while you watch your kids swim or join them in the pool. At Hippy Dippy Pool, they show Disney movies under the stars each evening, and they also have other daily activities like trivia, relay races, and themed pool games. It's literally so fun. Also, right next door to the Hippy Dippy Pool is a shallow kiddie pool for all of the littles to enjoy. Now, if you don't like the craziness of the Hippy Dippy Pool, because like I said, it is always wild there and such a party, maybe you are more into the low-key life, and that is totally fine. There are 2 other pools that you can enjoy. One is called the Bowling Pin Pool. Now, this is so fun, and my kids love this pool because it's usually a lot more low-key, and guess what? It's shaped just like a bowling pin. Now, the other pool is shaped just like a computer, and it is also pretty low-key. So try out one of those pools if you're looking for something that's just a little less crowded. Disney's Pop Century Resort also has a very extensive jogging trail throughout the resort. Now, just in case you're not getting enough walking done in the park, you can also jog along the trail, where you'll find a playground. There's also a ton of large-scale, like retro structures that are really cool and fun to look at and take pictures in front of. One of the things that I really love about Pop Century Resort is it has an arcade for kids who are a little bit older and younger too, but our kids are a little bit older and they love going down there and playing, spending some money down there, of course, and just having some fun playing some arcade games. What is a retro-themed resort without an arcade? Another really fun activity that Pop Century offers is complimentary roasting marshmallows over a crackling fire and afterwards cozying up to watch a Disney movie under the stars. Along with these fun amenities are also free Wi-Fi, laundry facilities that we have taken advantage of before, dry cleaning services, housekeeping every other day, ATMs, mail services, online check-in, and honestly, so much more. Pop Century is a great resort. We love it. Next up, let's talk about Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort. Now, Caribbean Beach Resort has 7 different pools. Yes, you heard that right, 7 pools. They have one kind of bigger pool that's up front by the main building and by the food court that has a lot of slides in it and different fun stuff for kids, along with a kiddie pool. And then they have one pool at every different island. Okay, now let me tell you about some of the other fun stuff that's offered at Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort. One, they have volleyball courts. These are so fun if you want to go out after you're done eating at the resort, or maybe after a long day at the parks. You can go play some volleyball, take your shoes off, put your feet in the sand. It's awesome. Also, around the resort are different places where you can lay down in hammocks and just lounge around. You can get up in the morning, watch the sunrise while you're laying in a hammock, or maybe, again, after a long day at the park, you just want to hang out under the stars, laying on that hammock. Now, just like Pop Century, Caribbean Beach Resort also has a campfire at night. It also has a movie under the stars. So much fun for kids of all ages, even those who just are kids at heart. It also has a jogging trail, but one of the things that makes it different than Disney's Pop Century Resort is that it goes around a lake in the middle of all of the islands. There's also several bridges that go over this lake, which makes it really fun, and the scenery is awesome. We loved the atmosphere of this resort. It felt like not only were we at Disney, which is literally the happiest place on earth, but we also were on the beaches at a different island, hanging out, putting our feet in the sand. It was awesome. We loved being at Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort. Also, there's other amenities offered at Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort. Free Wi-Fi, housekeeping services every other day, a playground for kids. Also, one of the cool things is you can fish at this resort. They do not rent fishing poles, but if you happen to bring your fishing pole, you can throw it in and see what you can catch. If you have never stayed at Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort, you should totally plan on staying here during your next adventure to Disney World. My family loved it here and created so many awesome memories. I know your family will too. Since our family flies into Disney World every time we go, one of the things that we are always thinking about is transportation. How to get from the airport to the resort, and then once we get to the resort, how do we find our way around Disney to maybe different resorts or to every single different park? Well, since the Skyliner opened up, we love staying on the resorts that have Skyliners. And that's one of the things that we love about Pop Century and Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort, is that it has the Skyliner along with the buses that go to every single park. Now, if you choose to stay on a resort that has the Skyliner, I will say the buses that run to those parks, such as Epcot and Hollywood Studios, they don't come nearly as often to the resort because they want you to use the Skyliner, which makes total sense. And it is very easy to access the Skyliner, even if you have a stroller or a scooter. Now, we have found the Skyliner is so convenient and we seriously love it so much. Although we want to try as many different resorts as we can to Disney, it will be really hard for us to stay at a resort that does not have the Skyliner on it. The Skyliner usually opens between 7 and 7:30 depending on which park you plan on going to. It also stays open ample time after the park closes and after the fireworks show to make sure you don't get back to your resort too late. A new feature that I've loved about the bus system is that you can get on to your Disney World app and look and see what time is estimated for buses to arrive. Now, I know Disney's still working on making this extremely accurate, and so sometimes it's not super accurate, but I will say, if you arrive a few minutes before the intended bus arrival that it shows on the app, you should be able to get on. Now, Seekers, to end my time talking about transportation, I will just say my family and I have found the Skyliner so extremely convenient. Ask anyone in my family and they'll say it's one of the best, greatest additions to Disney that's happened in such a long time. All right, we're moving on to the eating portion of our time together. Now, if you've been to Pop or Caribbean Resort lately, you know that the food there is awesome. And if you haven't been, honestly, it's really, really good. So we're going to talk a little bit about the differences that we see between the two resorts. Pop Century has an amazing food court. Now I'm telling you, they have Mickey waffles, they have a great breakfast, they have lots of kids options, they have different like home cooked sections, they have refrigerator areas where you can get pastries and sandwiches and different things like that. Lots of really, really good desserts too, of course. Honestly, we love this about Pop Century. When we last stayed at Disney Caribbean Beach Resort, we actually ended up loving the food so much. We think that the island flair that the food court has is so good. We love all the meats and the rices, and it feels like there's a lot of really fresh options there, which we really, really like. But the reality is we end up eating at the park more times than not. We love getting up early, getting breakfast at the park. We love having our lunch at the park, whether it's a quick walk-up window or we sit and dine. And we also usually end up eating dinner there because it's so late by the time we get back to the resort. However, I would say that both options, whether you decide to stay at Pop Century or Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort, they both have such good food service. I don't think you can go wrong doing either one. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the atmosphere at both of the resorts. At Pop Century, it's so fun because it has such a retro theme to it. That is really fun and honestly really nostalgic for us. There was a lot of different things that we could look back on, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. It just brought back a lot of memories for us, and it was just a really fun themed resort. I know sometimes it gets some hate because maybe people don't like it as much, but we had a lot of fun there and we thought the theming was awesome. Caribbean Beach Resort just had such a different vibe to it. I know I mentioned earlier in this video that it was like beachy. It felt like you were on an island. There's sand, there's volleyball, there's hammocks, there's like water that you can see, a big lake. It's really awesome. And we loved feeling like we were at Disney and at the beach at the same time. That was really cool to us and we loved it a ton. Something else that I didn't mention earlier in this video is that at night, if you happen to be at the resort, you can see the fireworks happening at Epcot. In fact, you can see the Epcot ball, the top of it, at the resort close to the main building. That was really cool and something we honestly didn't expect, but we loved it. I imagine you are hoping that I'm going to tell you maybe what the cost difference is in the cost breakdown. Guess what? I am! I thought the best option would be for me to tell you how much the rooms were at each resort at the last time my family went and stayed, which is in September of 2023. If we were to look at Disney's Pop Century Resort, each room, a standard queen bed, 2-bedroom, would be $229.80 a night. If we were looking at Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort, it would be $324.80. Now, this is almost $100 difference, and I get that. $100 is a really big deal. For us, we chose Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort because it had the 5th sleeper. And I know that you know this because I've said it before, but we have a family of 5. If we would have ended up staying at Disney's Pop Century Resort, our family of 5 would have had to stayed in 2 different rooms, which is totally fine, but it would have brought the cost up to $459.60 a night. We just weren't willing to pay that. Also, we are not guaranteed to have a room that is connected, which is a big bummer for us because we love being together on these family trips. All right, we've come to the end of our video. Dun da da dun! Who's the winner? Well, I know this is not a surprise to you, but we love both resorts. We really do. It depends on what we need, what we want from the resort. Depending on the time of year we go, there's so many different variables about the resorts that we love. It really just depends on what is best for us at the time. And that's the reality for you too. I don't know what's best for you. Maybe it depends on your family size, if you're going in a bigger group, or you have a family of 5 or 4 or smaller. It really just depends. The reality is you're going to be at Disney no matter what. And so while we're there seeking the magic, it does not matter where we stay as long as we get there. I know that seeking the magic is such a big deal for all of our families, and I love that we get to do it together.